Hi students, this is Fitchhorn and we're doing part 2 of our iconic project in photography in which we're using Illustrator to do a beautiful vector illustration based on a photograph of our favorite icon that we downloaded. So you should be at this stage. We did steps 1 through 3 and now we're going to continue on with the rest of the steps. I want you to click on and make sure that you are on the right layers when you work, or this will turn out rather messy for you. But I've clicked on the photograph layer, make sure it's active. How I know it's active is that it's a bluish gray color. And I'm going to drag the JPEG I downloaded off onto my artboard. But if you'll notice, and many of you will have the same problem, your image is quite larger than your artboard. Pay attention, this is very crucial. In Illustrator, unlike Photoshop, if you scale a photo without holding the shift key to constrain the proportions, this is what happens when you don't hold the shift key. You will not get accurate scaling and you'll get squishy photos, and I will automatically give you a bad grade if you have altered your photo in any way. Good photographers and graphic designers do not stretch their images in any way, shape, or form. What you will do is you will hold the shift key and with your mouse on a diagonal, scale it to where you need to go, knowing that you're not going to fit the whole picture in. You should just get the top chest and the head. And then let go of the mouse first and then the shift key. But you'll notice that my photo still doesn't look placed. Now, the difference again between Illustrator and Photoshop is that in Photoshop it automatically is placed and it's embedded, but in Illustrator it is not, because Illustrator is not Photoshop, it is an illustration tool. So you'll see while my photo is selected in the right hand panel in your properties panel, that's floating over here, this window that's docked over here, there's this word that says embed. It's under quick actions towards the bottom of your properties panel. Click embed and you'll notice that now the photo is safely embedded and that annoying cross through the middle of it has changed and disappeared. So now what I want you guys to do is lock the image by going into your layers and clicking the lock feature next to the eyeball. You don't want that puppy to move or it'll throw off your illustration really bad. All right, so next we're going to create a background. So if we click on the background, this is going to be like your Broobs project where we had to create a big colored rectangle to go behind your illustrations, right, that you did your artwork. So how you do this in Illustrator is once you've clicked on your background layer, come over here to your toolbar and you'll find that somewhere around the top near your type tool there should be a rectangle. If not, it might be buried. Look at what I'm doing on screen. I'm left clicking and holding the rectangle tool. Look at how many tools are hiding under there. Maybe your toolbar had the ellipse tool open or rounded rectangle or star. I don't know, but you should be on rectangle tool. Once you click on the rectangle tool and click down in the gray area of your workspace, you're going to get this dialog box that says rectangle, and you're going to tell it what size you want your rectangle. And I want it to be the same size as my canvas, which is in fact an 8 by 10 inch rectangle. So I click OK. Now, in Illustrator, your move tool is different. In Photoshop, we have a little like double arrow, and it's our move tool. We call it our selection tool in Illustrator. It's the top left tool. It's the most important tool because without it, you can't select and move your objects. So when you click on that black arrow, or if you'll notice the hotkey for that is V. V is your hotkey for your selection tool, which is your move tool. You can go ahead and just place that background, but you're going Fitchhorn. I've got my background and the default color isn't what I want, and I can't even see the photo underneath it. What am I going to do? Well, first let's change it to the color that you do want. I want you to pick a color that's plain and basic and complementary to your project. Now notice Harry Styles has all these pretty colors on. I'm going to choose maybe the light pink. You can choose whatever color you want, but it has to be solid. And you're like, Fitchhorn, how do I change the color? Well, let's see. Over here in properties, in your property panel, in your appearances, it's telling you that your rectangle appearance is filled with white. So to change that color, if you want to click once on that white or whatever color is your default color thumbnail, look at this, you guys. This icon is that looks like your paint palette. a makeup palette. It looks like an eyeshadow palette. That one has swatches that's already predetermined for you, but maybe those are too bright and distracting. So how you pick your own color is go to the one that looks like the artist palette to the right. It's called Color Mixer. Choose Color Mixer and notice wherever I drop in the Color Mixer, if I'm closer to white, I'll get a tint. If I'm closer to black, I get a shade. I want you to go through and find a color background that's not too distracting or ugly. Like this yellow has got to be the hardest color yellow on eyeballs. Please do not pick that color unless you want a lower grade. It will make my eyes hurt looking at it. If you like yellow, choose a softer, like there we go. There's a nice light yellow. I personally said I was going to pick a light baby pink because Harry Styles had pink in his necklace, and I think it will pop his photo perfectly. But you do you, boo. You do whatever you need to do to make your project beautiful. And then once you're done, you can go ahead and click back down on the gray area around your artboard, and then you're done. And then you're like, but Fitch Warren, I'm not done. I can't see my photo of my icon. How am I supposed to finish working? Well, kids, you're going to toggle the visibility by clicking the eyeball and lock that layer so it doesn't move. So I made the layer non-seeable. It's called toggling your visibility, and I locked it so it wouldn't move. Okay, now we should always work from back to front and largest object to smallest objects last, which means the background gets created first and then our accessories are last. So let's go ahead and do, the skin takes up most of the body, right? It's our face, our neck, our hands, and our arms. So I'm going to click on the skin layer. Don't work on the wrong layer. It's going to cause a huge mess for you later. And I want to zoom in to show you how Fitch Warren am I going to illustrate this. I know nothing about Illustrator. I am not an artist. Well, it's easy. Watch. I'm going to show you guys how to use the pencil tool. My advanced graphic design students are choosing to use the pen tool, but you guys aren't ready for that, so we're not doing that. Your pencil tool is under your shape tool, but it might be hiding underneath this one tool called Shaper Tool, which looks like a circle with a pencil to the right of it. Well, left click and hold down that Shaper Tool and you'll see the pencil tool is the next one down. Or if you like hotkeys, it's N, like nice, or nifty, or neat, or naja. Click N. All right, notice it looks like a cute pencil on your board. Watch this, you guys. Listen carefully before you work. Just follow along with the video. I want to outline, and it's showing you a blue line. Blue is the color of my layer. Your line might be a different color. I'm going to do his head first. I'm doing all the different skin areas separate for a specific reason. I'll tell you why later. But you don't want to like go around hair. You want to like do a whole face. Like you're drawing when you're a little kid and you draw a face, you draw an egg shape, right? Or a circle. Do the same thing. And it might not be perfect, but I'm going to show you how to edit it in a moment. And then you're going, well, Fitch Warren, now I've got this shape that I've connected back, and you'll know you connected back because your little pencil tool will show a little circle to the right of it when you've connected your shape. You're like, Fitch Warren, how do I get skin color? Like, well, instead of going to your fill and trying to pick your own skin color, that's really hard. If you guys go to your toolbar, look at this. There's this thing called eyedropper tool. It looks like an eyedropper. Who knew? I mean, oh my God. So you click the eyedropper tool and it selects any color that you click on the eyedrop. Look at all the myriad of colors in skin. You know, skin's never one flat color. That's why I've always had an umbrage when people say skin color is either black or white or yellow. I'm like, that's completely wrong and ignorant. Like, we don't, you know, one of the most complex skin tones is black skin because it has actual purple and blue and red undertones. If you've ever seen in the sunlight, like it shimmers like pinks and purples and blues. And likewise, white skin's not white. It's like all these like neutral colors like browns and pinks and beiges, right? And the same thing with Asian skin. It has like an undertone of more of browns and golds and like more of an orangey, sometimes golden undertones. I have green under my tone. If you're from Mediterranean background, sometimes we have what's known as olive skin. Any of you guys have Mediterranean background, somebody's told you have olive skin, that means you have green undertones in your skin. So find the medium, color it one of the medium shades. or tones in the skin. And let's look at this. To edit your shape, look at this, you guys. I've selected the shape in his hairline. I didn't cover his whole skin. So if you select on your toolbar the black arrow, or the white arrow, it's called a direct selection tool, or A, you all of a sudden see these little squares on your illustration shape. They're called anchors. When you hover over with the white arrow, you'll see it says anchor, anchor, anchor. When you double click an anchor, check this out. You can move that point, and then there's these handles in which you can edit the shape. See, look at that. I'm editing the shape of his face. Or I can double click that anchor and move it over. Double click this anchor, move it over, and you can use the handles to edit. All right, his jawline is not covered there, so I'm going to change the anchor points to cover his jawline. Thin out his face a little bit more. All right, so that's how you change a shape. Let's not get caught up in that. Let's go back to our selection tool, V, and then let's draw some more skin. So I'm going to choose the pencil tool, and this time I'm going to draw an ear on him. And the secret with drawing next to another shape, don't get too close to it. We'll put the pieces together later. But if you draw too close to one shape, it will actually blend the two shapes together. Okay, there's one ear. I'm going to come over here and draw another ear. Try not to draw on top of the other shape, or then it'll make a double shape. Okay, and there's that little circle next to the pencil that shows me the shape's done. Use the eyedropper tool. Okay, I need to do his neck. And don't worry about drawing over accessories. Like, it's just like drawing a body. Like, if you were to draw legs, arms, feet, like, we don't worry about shoes and clothes. Just draw the neck. And then again, don't be very careful if you accidentally start drawing into the other shape. You'll get them to connect and it might not work out right. Okay, eyedropper tool to pick a color. I choose a medium color. Don't worry, everything will start joining all these shapes together later in the detail part. Now his arm and hand, he has two pieces, the top part and the bottom part, so I'm going to draw those separately. So I'm going to trace his arm. Now you don't have to do any of the artwork off the artboard. Remember, you're only creating the art that's on the artboard. All right, and his hand I know is under his hair somewhere, so I'm pretending that I'm tracing that. Because I know, and under the rings, the knuckle, the wrist, the forearm, connect back, eyedropper tool, boom, and then I have his forearm or bicep or whatever that's called. Bicep, that's what it's called. Got the bicep. And I'm going kind of fast because, you know, I'm just doing a tutorial. All right, then the eyedropper tool. All right. So here's another instance where later I'm going to want to clean up. Look at that bicep. He's got like stuff dripping off of his bicep. So that's where I would go with the white direct selection tool and double click those anchors and really clean that up. And even deleting anchors out, you can click on an anchor and go up here to your top navigation bar and delete out an anchor by clicking the delete symbol. And then that way you don't have too many things to deal with. All right, I hope I've straightened this out. Let me delete this anchor. Delete anchor. There we go. Smooth bicep. All right, sweet. Now if I zoom out, if I go and Command 0, I've got all his skin done. I'm going to lock the skin. Well, actually, before I lock it, let me show you something that helps you work better. There's something over here in your appearance area of your properties panel. So to the right, if you see where it says appearance, there's something called opacity. 100% opacity means that it's completely saturated with paint. If I take it down to transparency, look at this, you guys. I'm going to click on the face and I'm going to click on opacity and I'm going to take down the opacity. Now I'm starting to be able to see what's going on, and you'll need this for later on. We'll turn all this back up at the very end, but for right now I want to be able to see what's going on beneath all his skin, because I'm going to need to later on do details like wrinkles or freckles or, you know, shading or highlighting or blush or, you know, shadows underneath the tired eyes from staying up too late partying with all your rock star friends. All right. The next thing is I want to click on, I'm going to lock the skin up now that I've taken everything down, and I'm going to go to doing, let's do clothing first. The face features are really hard. Let's do clothing. All right. So in clothing, I'm going to get the pencil tool. I'm on the clothing layer. And again, I'm drawing the whole shirt. I'm ignoring the necklace. I'm ignoring you know, his jawbone. We can hide all that later and change the shape later. I'm just trying to get